Hi everyone. I'm having ridiculous amounts of problems trying to upload everything to YouTube. So I have to make a new video and it's going to have to be a lot shorter. I will just try to make more short videos to hopefully help you out and hopefully the problem gets fixed. All right, constructing the unit circle. Watch the video, then go back and watch it again and fill in any gaps because I have to make it quick. There are two types of special right triangles that you may remember from geometry. And one is a 30, 60, 90, and the other is a 45, 45, 90. And for these two triangles, you have lengths of sides. I'm gonna try and cover this up. So in a 30, 60, 90, opposite the 30 is x, opposite the 60 is x root 3, and then the hypotenuse is 2x. I'll explain where that one comes from in a minute. In a 45, 45, 90, opposite the 45 is x, opposite the 45 is x, and opposite the the hypotenuse is x root 2. That's all from geometry. Here's the thing you need to know. In the unit circle, the hypotenuse of the triangle is equal to the radius of the circle, which is always 1. Hypotenuse is equal to radius is equal to 1, always. So up here, you'll see that I have 2x equals 1, and that's because 2x is the hypotenuse, and in the unit circle, it equals 1. So when you solve, you're going to get x is 1/2. Here, you'll see I have it equal to 1, and when you solve, you divide both sides by root 2, and you rationalize, and you get x is equal to 2 root 2. Okay, so then you take your two triangles, your 30, 60, 90, and your 45, 45, 90, and you label the lengths of the sides. So if x is 1/2, opposite the 30 is x, 1/2. Opposite the 60 is x root 3, root 3 times 1/2 is root 3 over 2, and again the hypotenuse is 1. 45, 45, 90, the hypotenuse is 1. And then opposite the 45 is x, opposite the 45 is x, x is root 2 over 2, x is root 2 over 2. Circle these, they're super important. If I were you, I would watch the video, then I would go back and I would take notes based on the video and I would highlight whatever I tell you to highlight. Okay, SOHCAHTOA. You'll see that I use this funny symbol. It's it looks like a cursive capital O, and it stands for theta, T-H, not theta with an F, theta with a T-H. And it's a Greek letter we use for angles. Sine, opposite over hypotenuse, cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent, opposite over adjacent. The reciprocal functions, which you may or may not be familiar with, cosecant, hypotenuse over opposite, secant, reciprocal, hypotenuse over adjacent, and then cotangent is adjacent over opposite. Okay, so let's look at this whole thing called the unit circle. And you might want to pause the video here and get the printout from, it was posted on Classroom. So I missed my piece of paper where I showed you how to do this. This is going to be super messy, sorry. In the circle, sorry this is super messy, but it is what it is. You have the right triangle imposed, this is a right angle, imposed upon the circle. If this is 30 degrees and the hypotenuse is 1, well, if you notice, inside the unit circle with the triangle and the unit circle combined, this, from center to edge, is the radius, but this radius is also the hypotenuse of this right triangle. So 30 degrees, if you look back at my paper here, 30 degrees, we said the opposite side was 1/2. 60 degrees, we said the opposite side was root 3 over 2. So 30 degrees, 1/2. This is 60 degrees, opposite is root 3 over 2. Okay, so what I did was, on my big ol' unit circle, notice that from center to the right, that's the x direction, root 3 over 2. Up, that's the y direction, that's 1/2, which is how right here for 30 degrees, the x direction was root 3 over 2, the y direction is 1/2, and then 30 degrees is pi over 6. 60 degrees is the reverse. That's supposed to be the edge of the circle. And here's my right triangle. Hypotenuse, radius, same thing, it's 1. So opposite the 60 degrees is root 3 over 2. Where did I get that from? I got that from right here. Opposite 60 degrees, root 3 over 2. So opposite is root 3 over 2. Adjacent is 1/2. So on my unit circle, for 60 degrees, the x direction, 1/2. 60 degrees, the x direction is 1/2. The y direction is root 3 over 2. Y direction is root 3 over 2. And then that's how the root 2 over 2 and the root 2 over 2 show up for 45 degrees.